Hi guys. I welcome you all to this episode of Let's Question Is 247 with me. And before we dive in, I'd like to take a moment to appreciate every single one of you that watched my previous episode and actually took a step further to reach out to me, to complain about my mic. I already knew my mic was faulty, but I was like, let me just keep on managing it. But the last episode we put up, it was really bad, and me, I could see it clearly. So thank you so much for reaching out to me. I'm already working towards getting a new mic, but until then, we have to keep on managing this word. And here in this channel, what we do is that we unpack and we question, we just question things without being scared of anything. And today, guess what our topic is going to be? Guess what you're going to question? Guys, our topic is we are questioning how, or let's say, 6 ways that your upbringing has messed up with your relationship with yourself and also your relationship with other people. 6 ways your upbringing has fucked you up. Some of you get plenty bad character, Some of you has bad character, but you'll be like, no, this is how I am. This is how God made me. My dear, that's not how God made you. You have bad character. You have some things, you know, that you're doing that are so wrong. And let's just assume that you don't know about it. It is not your fault because you just grew up like that. But now, when you actually seek to know and then you now know and you refuse to do anything about it, then it becomes your fault. And even in some cases, whether you even know or not, it is still your fault if whatever thing you do affects other people. Why? Because I'm sure that we all still believe that ignorance is not an excuse, right? So that is a very big reason why you should always seek to know. I read something on a post today, and this person was like, this is no longer an era for believing. This is an era for knowing. And it just clicked. Somehow, my spirit, my body, my soul, my mind, everything agreed to that. My brethren, this is no longer a time of believing. This is a time of knowing. Some of you have sworn that you will never leave the metrics of your growing up. Some of you have sworn that regardless of whether my upbringing was good or bad, I'm going to still worship it. I'm going to still believe in it. And guess what? You're going to still pass it down to your kids. That pattern that you clearly can see does not work for you or did not work for you. So you have refused for you to come out of the matrix and tell yourself, okay, this is where it is correct, this is where it is wrong, and then know how for you to improve and get better so that you are going to do better with your own family that you're going to raise. Well, let's just go straight to the point, and I'm starting with the first one. Remember I said I'm going to give you six ways that your upbringing has fucked you up and you don't even know, or some of you would know, but you refuse to become better because you'll be saying to yourself, this is how I am, this is how I am, this is not how you are. So listen carefully. If you know that any of these things you are doing it, no, it's not normal, and run and go and look for help. Number one says, if you are finding if you're having difficulty with emotional intimacy, if you know that you find it difficult to connect with people emotionally, let me give you an example. If you know you find it difficult to tell people I love you or to receive love, if you know you find it difficult to hug people, some people when you want to hug them, it's just like they think it's normal. It's probably because you were not hugged enough as a child. There is no way you will be raised with saying I love you, hugs and all that. You now grow up not to love those kind of things. Do you understand me? Now let's even go deeper and explain this point. Now, because if love wasn't expressed openly in your family, you may find it challenging to recognize, reciprocate, or feel comfortable with affection. Do you understand me? If it all goes down to the grassroots family, now if love is not communicated openly in your household, you're going to find it difficult to recognize love. When you even say love, you're going to be looking like you know, go no. Do you understand? Or you can even mistake something there that looks like love to love because you're not even used to it because love was not even expressed openly in the first place. You'll find it difficult to reciprocate love. If someone is giving you, someone can even die trying to show you they love you, but you, Mokoriko like you're not going to reciprocate. And you're wondering why is it that I'm finding it difficult for me to love back. Some of you go there with person in your head, you know, say you love this person, but you can never express it, can never say it out. It's not something in your conscious mind for you to actually do. It's because you are not used to these things. Hope you are listening to me. You can't reciprocate or even feel comfortable with affection. That is why sometimes you are loving somebody, the person is like, the person will begin feel like, which kind of love with this one is too much. The person will be like, there are some ladies that when they get married, they are lucky to marry a very loving husband, or they are lucky to marry someone that is pouring love on them. they become surprised. It's like, ah, so this kind of love exists. Sometimes they might even be shutting down the love because it's like, this is not normal. Or this is not normal. Why? Because they're not used to this kind of a thing. So this often leads to an avoidant attachment style where you keep emotional distance to protect yourself. Those people that are that has avoidant attachment style. I don't know if you know what avoidant attachment style is. I don't know how to explain it. Just go and read it up. Avoidant attachment style. But the simple the explanation there is that they just distance themselves. They distance themselves from emotion, like they protect themselves. They just keep emotional distance. They keep emotional distance to protect themselves. That which is not correct. Do you understand me? So all of these things would is going to show, all of these things will show in the way that you deal with yourself, first of all, and also the way that you deal with people. So if you know that you have this thing or you're suffering from, you have difficulty with emotional intimacy, you have difficulty with showing out love proudly. Some of you are even shy, or I don't know what's the word to use. Are you ashamed to? Some of you are ashamed to love. Honestly, people who grew up in a home where love was not expressed openly, they are ashamed to love. That is why you can see somebody would say, "I love you" in public, and the person will be like, the person is ashamed. It's almost like love is something that should be shied about. But someone that grew up where these things were expressed openly, when you say something like that, they are so open to it because it is what they are used to. Do you get? Now, some people in this century, some of you, you are still giving birth to kids, you're raising your children, but you forget to tell them I love you every day. It must not be every day, but you will look at yourself and ask yourself, when last did I tell my child I love you? Some of you will be like, our parents didn't tell us, but we knew that they loved us deeply. Name abinam. It is important for that word to come out from your mouth. It's very, very important. So if you are raising young children now who are Gen A, Abi Gen, whatever they call them, Bikokwa, don't do like your parents that you'll be like, yeah, I will carry it in my mind. My kid will grow up to know that I love them because of the sacrifices that I've made for them. I don't have to say it. I don't have to express it. After all, I'm paying their school fees. I'm working so hard. I'm working so hard for them to have a better life. They should be able to see it. It's not a must that I will come out and say I love you. My dear, what thing I go do, but my own is just to tell you whatever you want to do with the information. It is your own cup of tea. What am I saying? Please, not just for your kids, people around you, your husband, you're married. Tell them you love them often. Express your love openly. Don't be shy about love in any way. Do you understand me? I am saying this thing because I know the way it is for me. I know that I find it very, very difficult to say I love you. I find it so difficult for me to express love openly. But when I recognize that problem in me, I had to start working on it. And now I am fighting it with everything in me. Like, sure, not try me. Oh, I'm fighting it like fighting it off entirely. And I'm also trying to maintain balance while doing that. So that is the first. Now, the second point is emotional suppression and communication barrier. I had to like jot these things down so that when I'm talking, I won't forget any of the points. Do you understand? To make it easier for me. If you know that you are someone that you have communication barrier or you always suppress your emotions, like, eh, they will never see me cry. Like, it's not even about people seeing you, just something that you want to hold everything back to yourself. It's almost like there is something that has warned you that you must not show your emotions. You have communication barriers. You find it so difficult for you to speak out, for you to express yourself. It is a problem. Just know that it's not normal. Don't come out to say, it is just the way God made me. I don't know how to express myself. I don't know how to express my emotions. It is not the way God made you. God cannot look at a fine girl, a fine boy like you and come and give you all this kind of bad character. God not like that. You hear me so? God is not like that. Some of you have a particular notion about God in your head that is actually limiting you of of growing. Because you think that God would look at you finish and come and give you bad characters like this. You now be finding it difficult for you to communicate, for you to express yourself. You know that in this life you cannot communicate, that you're going to miss out on a lot of things. And God do not want you to miss out on anything. Your life be your hand, JJ. Do you understand me? God don't do it for you. You have to do a lot of things on your own by yourself. So let's go further to drive this home. Being routinely shut down when you express feelings often leads to emotional bottling. I can this one relates to me. Even the first point I gave kind of relates to me. Now let me tell you how this one relates to me. When you grew up in a family where I can remember a particular scene in my head where I'm feeling left out. I'm feeling like they are all feeling like they are grown ups and they are looking at me like I have not grown yet. How many years they even texting on me? Why are they all thinking that I can't comprehend it? Meanwhile, I'm seeing myself and I'm already grown. I've seen myself as grown. I can make points, but the other party, they are seeing you like she's still a little girl. Whenever you grow, you can begin to talk about things like that. But for now, you're still a child. See, let me tell you, what I learned from that is sometimes children, you will think that they don't know anything. See, let me tell you, as little as 2 years, 3 years children, they understand what is happening around you. I know that you will not believe me, but so my own are to talk. As little as 2 years, 3 years children, they know waiting they stop. So you have to start then. Now then you're supposed to start they train these kids, correct them with love. They are seeing everything. You'll be surprised. You grow as an adult, 21 years, 20 something years, you have a particular scene in your head where you remember so clearly as a child. Why? Because you know everything happening then. But your parents might think that this one is still a baby, they don't know anything. Do you understand me? So I had this memory in my head where I felt like I was always shut down. I'm not allowed to express myself. I'm not allowed to be who the fuck I want to be and all of those things. And I feel like, or I believe that it affected me because from the beginning, from the start, I've always seen myself as someone that is very outspoken, someone that can come and express myself, someone that can talk, in front of crowd and audience. But I am of the opinion that had it was a different scenario where I was allowed to talk, be so outspoken and all that. If I had that kind of environment around me as a child, I would be doing more better in communication now. At some point in my life, I was finding it very, very difficult for me to express myself, even in class. Sometimes, if I want to talk, because I've held so much things in my heart, like I've suppressed the, because of that, I was always thinking something in my head, but I can't say it out. Like someone like, you can ask me something in class. I've already checked, define that thing, maybe define something. I will define it in my head. Then I'll not be telling myself, okay, it's time for me to raise my hand up. I'll start calculating. Before you know it, you'll be like, oh, mom, I beg, make somebody else talk up. Do you get? These are the ways that these things can affect you as a child. So I had these things in me, and when I now noticed that it was already a problem to me, like before I talk, I would have to contemplate, think about it, plan about it. Like, are you sure this makes sense? Because that kind of a thing was not making me feel like, what if I talk now? People will say I'm not making sense. What if I talk now? They will say I'm saying rubbish. Then before you now talk, you over calculate it. You will not know that you can make a mistake and it's okay. Nobody will be there to tell you that. Now listen to me. If you have children in the house, let them talk. They make mistake. Tell them it's okay to make mistake. Oh, if you go out, anybody laugh you because you made a mistake. Tell the person that the ones who are stupid because you are making mistake. You are learning. Them they're just there laughing at you. They don't have sense. Do you get? It took me a lot. It took me a while for me to realize that no, now it's okay for me to even if I talk, they laugh for class. It's fine. I mustn't be perfect. So before I raise my hand to answer any question in the class, I must have thought about it, calculated it. I will check and make sure that there is no form of mistake. I don't want that thing of when I answer a question and then people will not receive it like it's the answer. So it's led me to perfection, like to become a perfectionist. I always want to be perfect. I want to think about it and make sure that everything is perfect before I say it out, which is a lot of weight for a child to carry. I'm sure you agree with me on that. It's a lot of weight for a child to carry. So that is how it relates to me on my own personal life. And so for someone that had that kind of experience, do you think I'm going to grow up tomorrow and have a child and then and then I'll now try to raise my child like that? No, it's not possible. It's not possible. The time I carry it for stomach, if I talk, I go wait make you talk. Oh my god! And that is one of the disadvantages of these things. I know that parenting is not easy. You can never get it correct. Me, this thing that I'm saying right now are the ones that I've learned I want to implement in my own case. But my child can still grow up tomorrow to feel like, okay, these are the ways that my mom did not parent me well. It is normal. Our prayer is let it be that we do the most part so that when our child grow up, they will not be carrying a lot of trauma around. At least that's what the one we can do by the power of God. Do you understand? Better or not? So that is the disadvantages of these things because now I might actually go and overdo. Do you understand? Let's say you've seen this part, this is something that is bothering you, or you feel like this is where they didn't get it right in your upbringing, and you want to come now to go and raise your kids. Instead of you now to introduce balance, you will now go and overdo it again. Now, if you overdo it, that one self will still become a problem. That is why it's good for you to try to be in the know yourself, be self-aware. Now, if you don't train yourself for you to be self-aware, you will now understand the importance of balance. Do you get? So that you not go and overdo everything. When you overdo everything, it becomes a problem as well. So you have to introduce balance in everything that you do. I hope you're understanding me, Shao, because I'm trying my best to explain it the best way that I can. So Let me read this again. Being routinely shut down when you express feelings often leads to emotional bottling, which I've already explained how it relates to me. Then going forward, this can result in sudden, overwhelming outbursts or anxiety when emotions build up. So very, very correct. So even in my own case, because when you don't come hold them, you are not able to express yourself, blah blah blah. Blah. The day where that when you come out, then you now burst out. People will be wondering, like you they wonder. It can even lead to anger issues. You'll be having anger issues. You go feel lead to anger issues, but you people will not know. People will not understand what I'm saying. But me, the way they talk about, I know. John, I took my time to research about these points, and I hope that you're going to take it seriously. So it's going to lead to outbursts or anxiety when emotions build up. Me, one of the things that I felt like it did to me was that be holding in things in my mind and not having suitable environments that encourage me for me to be expressive and all that. I feel like it made me to become a stammerer. In never day where I don't I think I still stammer, even if you notice. But I fight it. I dey fight am with everything in my mind. I fight it a lot. I don't want to stammer when I'm on stage talking to people. But from birth, I don't think I was a stammerer from birth, but because of this build up of emotions or always thinking, always calculating things, always holding things back instead of saying it out. When I now finally want to talk, I could begin the stammer. You guys don't understand. But just note that. Just note that. So chronic suppression of emotions is associated with difficulty identifying or articulating your own feelings. Now you'll be finding it so difficult for you to understand what the fuck is wrong with you, for you to understand your feelings or control your feelings or be in charge or in control of your emotions and your feelings. So this phenomenon can be called alexithymia. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm going to spell it or probably just put it on the screen. It is okay. I'm just going to put it on the screen. No need of me spelling it out. Alexithymia or something. I don't know. So which hampers clear communication and fosters misunderstanding in relationships. Oh my God, this explains it so well. It hampers clear communication. Now you can't have a clear communication with people. You might start feeling misunderstood at everything because people don't just get it. Wow. And fosters misunderstanding in relationship. Like imagine two people who are raised up like this. If they are in the same house, emotions will they build up. The day it now explode, you go be like say, fuel pour because those or especially if they are not self-aware, they have not gotten to a point in their life where they understand what is wrong with them and they have tried to seek help or to know how to improve themselves. Woo, that's a very big problem. But I don't want this episode to be too long. So I'm just gonna go to the next point, guys. I'm gonna go to the next point. So okay, point number 3 says challenges in conflict resolution. Now, experiencing conflicts as shouting or punishment teaches that disagreements are threats rather than opportunities for growth. If you were raised up, this is another way that your upbringing is going to affect the way you relate with people. If you are raised up with punishment or there is always conflict or shouting, when something goes wrong, nobody is talking to you, even if it's a mistake, you're going to be scolded at. Nobody is telling you, okay, that's a mistake, but look at how you do it, like correcting you with love. What it does to you is that it just makes you feel like everything is about conflicts. Everything is about conflict. You're not, when people try to correct you, you're not seeing it as, okay, this is communication for us to know how to grow better or do better. You just see everything as fights. That is why every small thing you are going to explode in anger. You even have to start having anger issues because of something like this. So that is why it's important for you to kind of understand what is wrong with you. Now, why I say that one of the disadvantages of these things is that when you have a particular something in your life that you don't like the way that you were raised with, if you're not being careful, you're going to raise your own child to do extreme of the opposite. Now, for example, now let's say in your household you were being shouted at school and it was like you now hated it. Now you can't born your own picking. You know if you open mouth shout like you can't. You now start being scared. You now start being scared of even correcting a child because you don't want that same impact that it had on you. You don't even want to have that impact at all on your child. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Good. So this is where you introduce your self-awareness that I'm talking about. You should be able to know that what we want in this life is balance. Nobody is saying don't correct a child, but look for healthier ways to correct a child or device means techniques for you to communicate with a child and the person will understand you and you understand the child. Don't just be like, oh, because this thing had an impact on me or a bad impact on me, you will now like shut it off entirely. You don't know how to correct a child. And that is why they say that if people who are not strict with their children, it sometimes they will spoil the children, because you have already seen that I don't want to beat my child. I don't want to hurt my child. Instead of you to now go and look for ways, some people sometimes you go and read book, you go and research how to raise a child without conflict. You do a lot of work, but some of you be like, I don't want to beat my child. I don't want to touch a child. Then you just relax. Boom, your child will be spoiling. Maybe because of, I don't know, something will be spoiling because you overdid it. Yes, you are on the extreme of the other side as well. So balance. I'm trying to teach balance here. I don't know if you guys are listening. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Amen. So, as I was saying, experiencing conflict and shouting or punishment teaches that disagreements are threats rather than opportunities for growth. Now, if people disagree with you, but they feel like say they like it's a problem. So people need to you need to raise your kids to know that it's okay for people to disagree with them. You get? And going further, this can manifest in childhood or adulthood. Sorry, this can manifest in adulthood as either being aggressive, which I talked about before, having anger issues, or chronic avoidance of any dispute. Having anger issues or a person go dey run from fights. Hey, anything will go make person fight. See, you can actually be trying to correct somebody. Like you want to have a peaceful conversation with somebody. You'll be like, okay, this thing you did, I don't like it. I don't like it. Now the person in their brain, they will start interpreting it as this person is trying to come with trouble. What would they do? They will avoid you totally. They will run away from the issue. That is also a problem. You get? So all these things that I'm talking about are what or some of the bad characters you can have as an adult, which can be traced back to your upbringing. And if you allow me to say, I will say that this is just 6 points. If you let me, if people used to listen to me, I would say that everything about your life, the way you talk, everything can be traced back to how you were raised up. Okay? So it's not a matter of, oh, this is how God made me. This is just how I am. No, that's not the case most of the times. It's just because of the opportunities you had as a child, your environment, the people that, in fact, including your schools you went to. Do you understand me? That's why as a child, you're raising kids. You it's a very big work. It's a very complete full time work. Like, you just to take your time to make decisions. Each choose good schools, good this, good this. Sometimes we do our best and parents do their best and still the child does not turn out to be nice. But at least let it be that you tried your best. Let it be that you did your best. Okay? And most cases, if you do the right thing, actually, you will see good results. Trust me. Now let's move faster because I don't want this to be too long. The fourth point, I guess, trust issues and fear of vulnerability. We all know what this one is. You'll be having trust issues, which me, I'm still fighting my trust issues now. Like, and me, fear of being vulnerable. Like most times, I'm so bottled in, and sometimes I like it because there are times that I was supposed to be so vulnerable as a child, but I refused to be vulnerable. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's like that was such a right move. I liked it. I liked that I was not just so vulnerable at some situations. I was still strong and dealing with stuffs, but too much of everything, like I said, is bad. I don't want to be a person growing, like now that I'm grown fully and I'll be too uptight to myself. I want to still be vulnerable. Like, I'm on learning that, even though I see the benefits. So, but I don't want to be like that all the time. So I'm just finding a way for me to make sure that there is balance in the whole thing. So, yep, this one, I'm going to just rush it. Then the fifth point is boundary confusion and risk taking. Now, if you are raised in a house where there was so much rules, you will now be pushed for you to be a risk taker. Sometimes that is why you see that some homes there will be plenty rules, but now those children, now them be the ones where be say they commit, and the ones where be say they don't get plenty rules, those ones they behave well. You now be wondering what is the issue. Too much of everything is bad. There have to be a balance in everything. But then some of these things, if you take it in a good way, if you introduce balance, you'll be able to see the benefits of them. Let's say you're this kind of a child that there were so many rules, and then you decided to be like, okay, I'm gonna do it and I'm gonna explore and all that. There could still be some benefits there. That is it, there is balance. Like I always say, balance is the key here. And last point. I think I was rushing because I don't want it to be too long. And I'm going to try to cut down some things by editing, but here I'm still talking. So the last point says self-reliance, perfectionism, and self-esteem issues. Who is calling me? I'm raising my hand up. Look at me here. People called me. Self-reliance. Yeah. Let me tell you, there are some Oh gosh, I don't even know how to explain this one, but let's go ahead. Having, if you don't have your, like if you're someone that you don't feel like your achievements were celebrated enough, or nobody was there to correct you or to guide you on what to do, you always felt like you had to figure things out on your own as a child. It's going to translate into adulthood as being a perfectionist. You want to get everything correct on your own. Sometimes you would die, you don't go free call for help. You want to do it on your own. You want to do it on your own, like you don't trust anybody. You rely on yourself and only yourself, which is bad. Sometimes life can be heavy, and you will need for you to talk to somebody, rely on somebody. Somebody will help you. But no, you are going to be like, oh, I got this, I'm strong, and blah, 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 blah. And you're going to be dying inside. So, having your achievements acknowledged without receiving guidance on improvements fosters a self reliance, perfectionist mindset. What does this mean? Let's say you are just where, or you grew up in a place where the only thing that was celebrated was your achievements. Anytime when you do well, you will not be here, there already do. But if you did not do well, nobody is there to tell you, okay, this is what you need to do for you to do better, or guide you, or talk to you, like tell you what's up, what you need to do. You always have to do it on your own. And even when you now do it on your own and you fail, you will still be judged. But nobody is there to tell you how not to fail. So you just figured out everything on your own as a child. Now, if you grow up, it's going to translate into your life as being a perfectionist. You want to do everything on your own, self reliance. You got this, blah, 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 blah. Your back will won't break from self relying on yourself. So where you feel here, you feel you must figure everything out alone and fear falling short of impossible standards. Like you don't want to disappoint anybody, but you're still figuring it out on your own, and you're always working hard to make sure that you meet standards of people, you know. So yeah. And going further, research shows that praise lacking praise lacking research indicates that praise lacking specific constructive feedback is linked to low self-esteem and anxiety in adults high achievers, or who internalize that only flawless success is acceptable. That is, oh my god, when you're not being appreciated and nobody is giving you feedback, or everybody's just waiting for the results. Now it can lead you to be an overachiever. You're always trying to achieve, and you don't even want to achieve small small things because you feel like if there is any flaw in your achievement, people will still judge you. So you want it to be flawless. That leads to being a perfectionist and all that. So which can actually, I mean, sometimes it has its own benefits because it's gonna make you go against all the odds for you to get what you want, but at the same time, it might break you down and it has its own disadvantage. So all these things are some of the things that if you're doing, if you bring in now, if you are now self-aware of what is wrong with you, and then you start learning how to introduce balance in all of them, you'll be able to take the benefits and also remove the bad effects that it's going to have on you, or you're even going to prevent yourself from maybe transmitting that character from to a new generation, which because it's not good for them. So, what is the take home for this episode? Balance, please. Balance, and also question the way that you were brought up. It, Come on, everybody can make a mistake. Our parents didn't have the information that we have now. Like they didn't have the privilege of knowing some of the things that we know now. So it's okay for you as a person to have the guts, have the mind for you to be able to challenge some of the things that you don't like about your upbringing. Like it is okay. It doesn't change how much you love them. It doesn't change how much you appreciate them. It does not change anything. Okay, it doesn't change nothing. So relax. Having said that, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is the end of this episode. I beg you, please subscribe. Okay, subscribe. I beg. I think I beg you. So I had to, in case if you're wondering why the background is changed in this part, I had to just improvise because I started to look for, or I lost a short clip from my edits, and I was already done with the editing just for me to export. And I noticed that some part was missing. I just had to do this one to replace it because, I mean, what can I do? It's not even daybreak yet. It's still night outside. Okay, so thank you for understanding. Bye. Love you.